All right, bonus episode, people, man. We just finished seeing Dragon Ball Superhero yesterday. So we're going to do a little review of things, let y'all know how it was. Going to get into some details with, I guess, what we liked about it, maybe what we didn't like about it, how we felt truly about the film, I guess. Going to give it to y'all. We were excited about it. I was hyped. It was 10 o'clock at night on a Friday, nigga. I was dumb hyped.
Yeah, we went like when we was. It's like you go in high school or more so like middle school more so. So it was old school style. I mean, we went as a collective. Yeah. And let's let everybody know. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler
Definitely will contain a lot of spoilers.
And I know all of us childish because we all called each other early before it. Like, what you doing, yo? Before this shit come on real quick, yo.
Yeah, I text niggas, yo, like, yo.
I was hype all
y'all
week.
trying to see this shit? Yo, I'm definitely trying to see
like, yo, you want to go see the Dragon Ball Superhero?
Because I had
app immediately. Like, I'm trying to pull up.
In my mind, I was going to go see it by myself on like early. How we was talking about before.
We've been talking about for a while.
Me and Zay knew for a minute now. So I was going to go see it by myself if y'all wasn't going to go see it. It was one or the other. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was just good to see y'all. Like you said, gave you that old high school kind of feel, going to the movies, meeting up there and everything. Everybody could drive. They got bars in the movies and shit, so that's pretty cool. They got a little sauced up in there. I'm not going to hold you.
Yeah. They was taxing, but, you know.
A little bit of money on that, but...
It's to be expected, but when you're an adult, you do what you're supposed to. You can do those things. You feel me?
The movie theater tax is out of pocket, though.
Yeah. So where we want to start? We want to start with.
You know what? Let's get straight to it. We're gonna, of course, go piece by piece, but let's get straight to it, man, because it's just very different than the other ones as far as animation. This was a big question. Some people was a little worried, a little nervous about how the new animation was gonna look. How do y'all feel about how it was presented, yo?
Yeah. So I was definitely one of them ones who was skeptical. Them previews, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. It's giving me like a cell shady kind of vibe, but it still got like the 3D feel to it. But it was way more depth to it than I anticipated. Yeah. So I truly enjoyed seeing that animation style, yo. And I hope they continue with that shit. Shit is fire, man.
Yeah. To keep it a bean though, like in the beginning, like with the car animations when they were driving around and stuff, I got nervous because I'm not as immersed into the Dragon Ball realm as y'all. I just started Dragon Ball Super, so it's like I was like, yo, why does that car look like that in the beginning? It's like little stuff with the animations that bothered me in the beginning, but they definitely made up for it in the big like boss battles, like connecting everything from even back to like. Without divulging too much, Dr. Gero, like that, we were literally talking about that movie with Gohan before he was even, when he only was, when he could turn red. What was it? I can't even remember the move now, but it was like he was red before he was Super Saiyan.
It's about Kaioken.
Kaioken, and that's how he beat Dr. Gero's robot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool how they tied all that in because that's been like a movie subplot on the low to Android type shit for a minute.
Trying to think it was anything that I didn't like about the animation style because I didn't really pay much attention to the cars because I guess I'm so used to seeing them shits.
It was like the rich nigga that was smoking the cigars that like turned and did all the crazy shit that released.
Yes, excuse us all. Super we're fans, but super people like that's blah 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 name. Yeah, I can't remember his name right now.
Names is not happening.
And I've watched it. I've been watching Dragon Ball for a minute. Sometimes we just saw it. I might see it again.
Yeah, just because I know I missed some shit. I already know I did. So I'm going to definitely have to go see it again. But, yeah, I like I said, I enjoyed the animation style.
What I would say about the animation, and I could see why Mike probably was like a little skeptical. Because a little bit of it, you had to get used to it, right?
Yeah, because I'm still used to like the 2D.
Yeah. So this is what I think this is a pretty good guess of what they were doing. So if you watch Dragon Ball Super Broly, and we talked about it, me and Rich definitely talked about it extensively, like the animation for that joint was crazy. That was by far the best one, right? They was doing all type of wild stuff. But I still feel like they felt like they were held back. Because there are other joints out here with the current animation that's happening in Dragon Ball Superhero. Yeah. And I know Dragon Ball like, yo, we got the most money, man. We really can't really turn up the way we want to turn up until we really go into this form of animation. And that's why when you see in the fighting scenes, crazy. Man. Absolutely crazy. And we're going to get into that. But
that shit was wild.
Absolutely crazy, yo. So I believe what they did was they did this movie first instead of trying to get you into the series. Because the first, you know, if you start a series, it might not be as much action. So it's going to be a lot of, it might be some, but they're not going OD crazy.
Right.
So they like, yo, instead of trying to get people to come in like that, and they kind of like, let's just go straight into the fire.
Yeah.
So we need to start off with a movie with the new animation. Like I could be wrong, they could go back, but I don't think so. Because over time, they kind of always just slowly progress their animations.
Yeah.
So I feel like everything after this is going to look like that. Like I said, somebody may have a deeper dive and be like, nah, it's just a one-off. But I don't think so. Because I've checked out stuff. I think this is the future of it. Because they seen other animes. Like, what's that joint? Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer.
Yeah, they like, yo, we can go crazy like that.
And even if you go for all the big, like...
animation wise,
Netflix animes and Hulu animes, like all of them have that like 3D CGI, like 360 pan around the actual action scene while it's happening type shit. So yeah, it's definitely time for the biggest anime to do that.
I agree with that though. That's a good point. I never really thought about that. I do. Do you think they'll do that in the shows too?
That's
like
what
it goes
I'm saying.
all the way over into the shows?
I think they might. Of course, you know, with the shows, since they do so many, they don't put their foot on the gas on everything. You know what I mean? You remember Goku in previous episodes?
A lot of dialogue.
He'll just be floating through the air, same animation. They're just sliding him across like a little picture. Like they'll dumb it down a little bit, but I think in general it's going like all right. So when they was driving the car earlier, that's more simple. I think a lot of it's gonna look a little bit like that.
Okay.
That's just my personal. That's how I feel like that's the direction they're going in, and I hope so. And you get more used to it, and you know. So I think it's gonna be hard, as long as they continue it like that.
I agree.
So we want to start off the beginning, man. How do y'all? All right. So I'll say this. I think it was taking more of like a little crime boss typey like joint, which was kind of dope. They had a tempo a little bit different, a little bit slower. They was doing a little the pows and the pooms with the joint with that. People was a little worried about like the little Batman type of stuff. It actually to me showed up kind of well. Of course, I don't want them doing that for every joint, but I think because of the superhero aspect, clearly, that's why they did it. So it fit well. But they kind of took you into a story, which like a slower paced story, into this one and how they got back the Red Ribbon Army or whatever they called it now and all of that. So I like how they was doing that with the crime boss and his right hand man.
I even like how they built up like the crime boss as far as like with him like. It was like they almost looked at them like the humans looked at the Avengers. You feel me? Because they was like, these are aliens, da 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 da. Like, and he was like the one like, we gotta protect the world, da 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 da. And I'm like, that's hard. Like they really leveled up the Dragon Ball-ness on that. And I'm just a novice Dragon Ball watcher, but I really like that where they was like they got Piccolo, the Saiyans that clearly aren't human, but a lot of people didn't see the previous fights. So it's like a thing now where they like trying to create technology to beat them. It was definitely tough. I liked it.
And it's hard because they even like small stuff, they was like, which makes it kind of more realistic if these things are happening, even though it's not a real show, but they're like, we seeing aliens flying back and forth from Capsule Corp, because like you can't just keep having these fights and people like, oh, we didn't see anything, we don't know what's happening. Like, no, it's like this general concern, like you were saying, like the Avengers, people was like, yo, what's going on? Like they destroying cities, they kill like buildings are killing me. Yeah. So I like that aspect. And then they got, of course, the grandson of Jiro. Yeah, that was dope. And he was super smart.
I forgot his name.
And how he broke out of jail. Well, he didn't break out of jail, my bad. He was released from jail, and then he gave they didn't like him, and he gave a big FU to all of them, about blowing up. I don't know how many people he killed when he blew up that segment of the jail. Yeah, that was kind of they never explained that, but he definitely slaughtered folks, when he was leaving out of the jail.
He's a cold nigga, man.
Yeah. So let's get into it. How do y'all feel about Piccolo, man? Because Piccolo was really the first person that had to deal with all of this. Yeah. I mean, so Rich, explain how Piccolo.
So for me, this was like you said, we are big fans, but not perfectionists. I'm not gonna act like I know every single detail. But Piccolo has been around since the dawn of time.
Dragon Ball.
We've never seen him change.
Before there was Dragon Ball Z.
I don't know if we're getting into that aspect of it. Are we?
Let's get into just Piccolo.
Just him in general.
I mean, let's talk about the importance.
I enjoyed. Because they made him a focal point.
Pivotal point.
He deserved.
He was trying to put everything together. He's trying to get, he was trying to get in contact with Goku and them niggas, and then you get to see them training in a little bit. Like they had that subtle piece in there, which was like, getting back to what you were saying about it going into the other shows, they already showed it can be done because they were showing Goku in the style and everything with that. So they've already started putting those people in that style animation. So that was cool. But Piccolo himself, it was good to see him as the focal point.
Yeah.
I think for me.
And they tactfully put Vegeta and Goku out of it. Because I just started watching Dragon Ball Super and all that shit. Like, and now I'm like, okay, all right, now it makes sense.
I'm gonna circle around to that because it's very important. They did that for a specific reason. I'm gonna definitely get around to that. But Piccolo, like Rich said, I like how because he put so much work in. He helped train so many. They showed the dynamic how he's taking care of basically picking Pan up. Yeah, I mean, kind of like how Goku was away doing his thing, fighting and stuff.
This nigga,
Gohan was trying to be a scholar, so he kind of stepped that. And again, it's like Piccolo always playing that role, but they gave him an opportunity to go even further in depth. He finds out, the first number one of the it was number two of the superhero. So I can't remember all the names.
1 and 2.
So we say 1 and 2. He found him and he fought him off rip, and he was like, "Oh snap, he mad strong." But they went straight to Piccolo, so you could tell off rip. And then Piccolo had to be on some espionage stuff. That was hard. He had that was dope. So he finds the
But the only thing that kind of bothered me is how did all those humans not see the green nigga?
I mean, that's part of the cartoon.
It's part of the joint. That's why he had to keep flicking down the mask. And even the one dude was like, "Hey man, you came back. You look a little green." Yeah. So, but basically,
comedy.
So we could bust it down for people who want to be interested in just busting down these parts. Piccolo kind of finds out, he finds out where the new Red Ribbon Army base is, right? Because it's kind of camouflage.
Yeah.
Because he follows number 2 because number 2 thinks he kills him, and number 2 is so strong he beat him up pretty fast. Right. So Piccolo follows him back, takes one of the uniforms off one of the minions, and he sneaks in there. Kind of like on some stormtrooper type stuff, just kind of disguised, and he's listening to the whole grand plan, and that's when it gets crazy. So basically, after that, Piccolo has to kind of like just listen, and there's a plan to kidnap Pan, so they can kind of get Gohan and blah blah blah, to get involved. So what's so dope is Piccolo actually goes along with the plan instead of just getting mad and emotional like Vegeta might have gotten,
right? And
start just trying to fight everybody in there. And he goes along with it because Piccolo's a strategist, yo. So they go along with the plan. He tells Pan, "Listen, man, he picks up from the school. This and that. Pan is hard, yo." So Piccolo and one of the other minions go fake or kidnap her, but even though it's gonna be a fake kidnapping, and the man goes to try to grab her from the school while she was the last kid with her teacher, and a lot of kids have been.
That was tough. I remember that.
And she socked him right in the gut and knocked him out, yo, because he don't know she like that, yo.
Yeah, she's definitely.
She's like that,
and
yo.
She's supposed to be like 3.
Yeah, she's only 3 years old.
I remember Goku was dumb little when he was doing all that training and shit with my son.
Even Gohan.
All of them start little like that. That's the whole thing that he was saying.
Even Goku, man, cool. Dragon Ball, he was.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, his original shit. He was a little fucking kid.
She's gonna be the coldest for her.
Pan gonna be cold.
Because she started flying.
Goten as well.
Yeah, she started flying at the end.
Goten.
Yeah.
I like Goten, man.
She started flying and shit, though. She gonna be the one.
Yeah.
And now that I'm dumb, like off of Dragon Ball Super, since I'm not as in it on you, it was Gohan's baby mother that was pregnant in the joint where I was like, yo, how they got Goku to the Super Saiyan Ultra level with the pink hair back.
Oh, okay.
In the old shit. It was her, and she was pregnant with the baby. She didn't even have it yet. You know what I mean? And all that transpired. So they was plotting this shit out, yo.
That's pretty cool. Because I got to go back and watch some of the Dragon Ball Super shit now, just to kind of key in on shit like that. Because even when you just said that Piccolo is a strategist, like that was his whole thing on the tournament when he was fighting. Like they were just working on strategies the whole time because they know they're not more powerful than everybody else. So we got to figure out how to beat you.
Yeah, because there was so many universes with so many cold fighters, yo.
Shout out my boy Krills too.
Krillin.
He got some love in the film.
Yeah. Don't call Krillin Krills, yo. That's what I mean.
Krills.
He shortened it up.
And he didn't. Homie. And I spoiled this part.
You know I fucked with Krillin even since we was little.
He didn't die, yo.
He didn't die,
yo.
And I was mad because they played him and he was a cop when he first came in and he was a sucker.
I mean, but that's why you got to catch up.
Watch the show, man.
But it's the dope part about it. Me and Rich are like mad caught up. And Mike, Mike, of course, is watched enough, but Mike isn't fully caught up on the Super.
Nah, I'm like Buu
series,
Saga.
yeah.
Yo,
So
like,
you gonna catch
I'm
all of it
old
after.
with it.
It's
I'm
kind of
OG
dope.
Dragon Ball with it. So it was just like I'm literally coming from the Buu Saga to now.
And you're gonna watch it kind of like in a reverse joint, which is actually probably a dope way to watch it as well.
Yeah, because now you'll be like, oh shit, this is what that meant, or this little piece here. Even if you watching because you haven't watched Super Broly yet, have you?
I haven't seen Super Broly, Tournament of Power.
When you watch
none
that,
of that,
you definitely gonna go crazy.
That was so
shit,
hard.
because that shit is wild.
Tournament of Power or Super Broly, or what order should I watch them in?
You gotta watch the Tournament. Just finish watching the series, then watch Broly after.
Okay.
Yeah, watch the movie after.
Yeah. So,
But Broly was with them, so Broly is a Saiyan.
yeah,
You
he's
gotta
a Saiyan.
watch the Super Broly
He's a Saiyan.
movie.
I'll tell him that much. He's a Saiyan. But you watch the Broly.
You know how
Yeah.
Goku like to train. I'll just say that.
Let's just
Goku
say-
always want to train.
And
So
they had
Broly wants to train too much. He can't control his anger.
he can't control his anger,
Exactly.
just like the original, like from years,
I mean, I
years
got
back.
that from okay.
But it's more of, I guess
It's
we
a
can say it
different-
because
it's a
people are
different
watching
story,
it
though.
for it, but it's a totally different story. It is a different take on Broly as well. 'cause
Yeah,
Broly
a
was
completely
wild as
different
shit.
take because they able to bring Broly in as like one of them. He's not just like an original joint. He was just a loose cannon Saiyan and he was just evil. But they kind of like, you know what I mean? You one of us. We gonna bring you into the fold. And however they really gonna use Broly in the future, or if he turns or whatever, it's gonna be
Is
crazy.
it another tournament? What's gonna happen? I'm waiting to see.
I don't
Broly.
know, but if you peep, like
Broly got the hand pieces.
see,
man.
Mike kind of peeped, but may not have peeped. Like Goku when they was training in the beginning. Earlier, it was showing you how wild Broly can get because he can. lose
Yeah,
his
that
control.
nigga was like, I don't
He's like,
know,
hell, you gotta
I-
calm
yo,
down.
Yeah, like, yo, you get too mad, yo,
Nah,
you might
Broly,
we might not
Broly
have nowhere else
fuck
to
around
train.
and start destroying like dimensions type shit. Like that's how strong this nigga is. Yo. He's wild.
Yeah, I don't want to speak. I don't want to spoil the Broly
Yeah,
joint.
you got.
for
That's why you gotta watch that
yeah,
movie.
Yeah. So well, basically talking about Piccolo with the strategy. Here's the key thing to the strategy. And this is why he's so dope, and I'm so happy. We'll get to it, and I'll say it now. I think you alluded to it. He has a transformation finally. This is so dope about him. He said, "Yo, let's go along with the plan to fake kidnap it." He told her, "Yo, I'm gonna put these cuffs on you, and you can break out of them whenever you want, but just act scared the whole time," because he understood. He said, "Gohan, it could be like the most powerful." Whenever he taps in,
Yeah.
and he kept asking about him in his training the whole movie.
Yep.
Are you still training? Why you not training?
He
You
was
still
the master
training?
Yoda of that shit.
He did it because he knew if we can get, she not gonna get murked out here. If I keep her safe or she just stays safe, something is gonna trigger him into really tapping into how strong he can get, and we gonna get to the end of what happens with Gohan. But that's how smart Piccolo was. He said this is what's gonna get him to the next level. And one thing we skipped over 1 and 2. So I believe it's the grandson. Like I said, can't remember names right now. Watch it again, be better with that. But
Dr. Jiro's grandson?
Yeah, his
The
grandson.
Low fat dude.
they picked him up to help create the best androids, so they can beat what they consider were the evil people, and is Goku and Vegeta and all of that. The grandson he understood they wasn't really on the up and up, and he explains that at the end. But he also he wanted to be a superhero. That's what he really wanted to be, and he loved superheroes. So he created them as superheroes. So the people who seem like they're evil, the new androids, they actually really had a good moral compass.
Yeah.
And that's why when Piccolo, we'll jump a little bit, they start to fighting them. They grab Goku from where he's at, Gohan, from where he's at, and they're fighting, and they thinking Gohan and them are evil. And then Piccolo really wants Gohan to turn up. So he picks Pan up, he tells Pan, act like some harm is happening to you. And then if we of course noticed Andrew, I think it was the number 1 who was fighting, he's like, yo, that's not cool.
Yeah.
What are you doing? So he wasn't like a villain like some of the other androids in the past. They're like, yo, it started working on their minds. They're like, yo, what's going on here? But Gohan gets really mad. He don't really turn up all the way. Yeah. But he gets mad to the point where yo, he mad stronger than we even thought he could be. And of course, y'all know the Saiyans, whenever they get some tragedy happens with Broly, you'll find out.
Damn.
That's when they can get into a rage that you can't stop.
Yeah.
So like I said, we'll start there. We're skipping some of it because it's a long joint, but let's get to the part where they start really figuring out man, we're being compromised right here because this is some evil we working for, but we really are justice, justice warriors, you know what I mean?
Yeah, even Dr. Jiro's
Toppo.
grandson
And Toppo
said
and all,
the 2 and 1 and 2 that he had, they was they don't see anything bad in the guys that they going against, so they didn't really want to They like,
It's
I
like
don't
you
see
said,
nothing
that-
crazy. They're
and
not evil.
Piccolo picked up on that shit. That's why
Because
he said
he
you
put
could hear him start.
superhero traits in him.
Yeah.
Superhero traits.
You could hear him start questioning them, even asking them like while they were fighting and shit.
Yeah.
So like, you're doing this for like, I forgot what he specifically asked him, but it was a good ass question to have him think a little bit. Like, oh shit, I didn't even think about it. Like
Yeah.
that. Right.
And basically they were created. The dude wanted to create them because he really liked how they are.
Yeah.
And he really he wanted to create them in an image of himself in a way that he wanted to see himself as, because he wore a superhero costume too, the grandson. So, but here's the thing: the new Red Ribbon Army, they wanted to create Max Cell or Cell Max.
Cell Max.
And this is when it gets interesting, because Cell Max wasn't. We could start running through this a little bit.
Yeah.
Cell Max, he was telling them, hey man, we don't want to release him yet because he's not finished, and if we don't finish him, you know, it could get bad for everybody. Like everybody can be destroyed, or it can go left, not the right way. So he didn't want to do that. But Cell Max wound up getting put into play because he tried to the crime boss tried to snake. He tried to kill him. He clapped him with a regular gun.
Yeah.
Even though he told him the grandson told him, I made like a special skin for me so I won't get clapped. So I knew he wasn't dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, the evil little minion Napoleon complex boss tried to clap him, yo, and tried to kill him.
Like that, man.
So he told him, yo, my skin is this now when you got back up. So then the crime boss, he said, yo, my skin is this. I know the super fans are like, you keep calling him a crime boss, he has a name. I don't care. We going to figure all those names after a while, but he wound up showing his skin and how he made some alterations to his body.
Yeah.
But one of the things we skipped over was that early in the movie, they mentioned, the grandson mentioned how he had like a little bee that was flying around that could poison anybody, even if your skin is altered.
Yeah.
And it's
Hit him
too
up.
strong. So he poisons the crime boss, and then he's dying, and as he's dying, he smashes down on the button to release Cell Max before he's finished.
Yeah.
And it gets crazy from there. Y'all want to talk about like the form and
I just
we
want,
might as well
how
start
did y'all
with the
feel about from a Dragon Ball novice? How did y'all feel about the new form of Piccolo?
oh, my fault.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get into that because
Okay.
yeah, I mean he
Yeah,
had
might
to
as well start
fight
with
that.
the forms.
Start with cells.
Start with cells.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
new- so
I was unfamiliar with Cell Max. I don't know if this is something that people have talked about before, or like if it was in like the manga or anything like that, or was it? I've never heard of that.
I can't remember if it's in the manga, but
I think
know
the
why
thing
they
that
did
got
it,
me about it, I guess I'm okay with it now that you just broke that explanation down, because he wasn't done. So that's why
Yeah.
he came out like he came out.
That's why you gotta think about
So
it.
I'm not really mad. I was kind of upset at first. He was just yelling and shit, and
Yeah.
just hella big. It was like, yo, I don't know how I feel about this. He just got red eyes. He's looks a little different, but he's just
Wild
bigger, just wild bigger. So I was upset, but now that you broke it down like that, it's kind of got me thinking he wasn't done yet. So he wasn't actually full Cell Max, I guess, at this point.
And I knew we was gonna get
So
to
I'm
it.
okay with that. I'm okay with what they gave us. It was just something that you could see the potential in. You know what I mean? Like, and that was good how they set it up that way, I think.
And yeah, and this is the thing, because I know a couple of comments after between you and someone else was like, "Oh, didn't really love how they did Cell. Cell was not this Cell Max. You know, was not done to be like the other one who had a lot of dialogue and a lot of rich. And they did him over like a series. Like they were trying to introduce a new style, and like they jumped up a couple years. That's why Gohan, Goten and Trunks is a little bit older. They wanted to skip a little bit of stuff while they actually updated the technology and stuff like that. But here's the thing about it: they did it a certain way because they like, no, we're not introducing all that. We don't want to drag this over several episodes, and we just want to introduce a familiar type of character through this new movie. But here's the thing: why he didn't have a whole bunch of depth to his whole characters, because it's like, yo, essentially he's like Frankenstein at this point.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He's just mad and this and that and the third, and it's simpler to bring that into the fold than try to create a whole drink. It's like, yo, we already did this character. We're not going to drag it a new one. That's kind of corny, but we can place him in here to get us to a certain point. And then we got to fight him this way, so it's some familiarity that we all can get with. We can bring in some new androids in a kind of clever way, and then we can also fight him. So
one thing I can say too, I didn't see him at least. They did a good ass job of hiding that nigga because I didn't know he was in the movie. I was expecting it Cell.
Oh yeah,
I had no idea Cell was in that. Gonna be in that movie.
Yeah, they kept talking about him, but they you talking about like no,
like from the pre. You seen it in the pre? I hadn't seen anything.
Yeah.
I
That's why I tried not.
I
tried not to.
I stayed away from a lot of shit, so I didn't know Cell was gonna be in it. So when I seen him, I was like, oh shit.
I saw something probably like a week and a half before. I was like,
yeah,
I was still pumped though. I was still pumped.
I knew about the form changes. I knew about I just really knew about the form changes more than anything. I didn't really know much of anything else. Even Goten and them, I didn't expect to see them looking older like that.
Yeah, I didn't know.
That's fucking cool, yo. Like you get he looked like little Goku for the longest now.
Yeah, yeah.
Now you see him getting a little bit.
He got
his
own little personality. Yeah, Look,
getting his maturity, I guess. You know, you start getting that maturity as you age through and shit.
Who's his pops?
Goku.
Okay.
You know,
Mike, you know that much, yo.
I didn't.
Goten.
I'm like just after Boo
Goten,
Saga, yo,
Pan,
like Boo.
and Gohan. Those are all Goku's seeds, right?
Okay. I thought
Am I
Pan
right?
was.
Oh, I mean, Pan is Gohan's seed. I'm
yeah,
sorry. So it's his grandfather. That's her grandfather and shit.
Let's get to it. I'm gonna let Rich do it because Rich had the arms up in the theater. He was pumped.
Yeah. So I got to see two forms. Piccolo's form was that was the hypest I've been. Because I didn't expect to see it.
Put his arms up. Like,
that nigga's been
Justin
around.
Tucker
That's
just
what I
hit a
was getting
60-yard
at. That's
field
what I was
goal at the end of
alluding
the
to
game.
earlier when we were explaining about Piccolo. But nigga, getting to see that, I literally went.
Yeah,
I seen it.
I was pumped too. Yeah,
felt like it was a motherfucking championship, Bill. I didn't expect to see him change into something, and it actually looked kind of cool. Yeah. Like I thought it was gonna be whack as shit. He was gonna grow hair or some wild shit. I'd have been mad as hell. He just changed color.
Orange, got
you know what I'm saying? Got a little swole. Everything. I'm with it. Like no, it was cool. That was the coolest one. Gohan's.
What was that? What
more
form
sweat,
was that?
more hair.
Yeah, I wasn't.
What form was that? What form
I forgot what they fucking called.
They never
it.
did they explain it?
They have a
so
name for it. A lot of
that's why I'm watching it again.
The breakdown ones will have a name for it. It's not Ultra Instinct. It's something similar to that though. It's like
Instinct-esque, but it's not quite.
Once you see Ultra Instinct, you'll kind of be like, oh shit, okay. But this is like Gohan's version of whatever that may be, or
whatever
it's
it
a
is.
totally different.
Because he wasn't on.
Because his eyes turn red and shit. Like,
yeah, he got his own joint. Whatever it is his own joint.
I wasn't happy with the hair, man. I feel like they could have did something different with his hair. They didn't really need to add more hair. They could have just changed the color of it.
A silver extension?
Yeah. They could have just changed the color of his hair like they did Goku. Or Ultra Instinct, he didn't really change. He just, you got the stuff glowing off you, you know, the little bubbles coming up and all that shit on his body, and you hear the music and all, of course. It's so fucking cool when Goku turned in fucking Ultra Instinct.
Yeah, one of them 18th century powder wigs, yo.
Yeah, yo, like a big ass wig, man. You look like fucking Judge and shit from across the pond and shit. It looked crazy. I didn't like it. I didn't really like that big ass hair, man.
He was fucking shit up though with that.
I thought he looked hot for the most part, but the hair was a little
just too big. Like they shouldn't have did. Just dumb it down.
Hey man, it still ain't bigger than Super Saiyan 3, yo.
No, what was that
was the longest.
We start looking up shit. Super Saiyan 3 though is like one of his strongest joints though. Yeah, like as far as punch wise.
But he can't last as long.
Exactly.
Like, his stamina dies out. Kind of like Super Saiyan 2 when Vegeta got real buff, and it's like, yeah, you strong, but you losing speed and your stamina is going down. But yeah, those.
So those, what was that? Those were the only ones, right?
For the
then of course we talked about Cell already.
So
yeah, I'm not mad at him though. I'm not mad at either one of them.
And Piccolo definitely deserved it. All the work he put in, man, and how he got to it. We'll get to that. They summoned Shenron, and they got their 3 wishes. The first wish was for Piccolo to essentially get his untapped potential, kind of like how Gohan and I think a few others may have. And the funny thing, of course, Bulma, cosmetic surgery wishes, yo.
Trying to stay young forever.
Trying to stay forever young.
A world-ending thing.
Forever young.
But she got the devices. She got the tech to get all of the Dragon Balls quicker.
Dragon Balls
so she be getting them. Mike hasn't seen it. She be getting them a lot quicker.
It's not even a thing.
It's not the first
like, you know how this was like. They were searching for them shits. Like this was like a thing back then. It's not really a thing for them now. She can just find them shits.
And I'll do a spoiler real quick in the other movie because Mike got it. He just got to catch up. You're gonna catch some stuff.
And when you see it, it's still gonna be hype.
Remember, Vegeta. Not Vegeta. Sorry, Frieza had. What was one of his wishes? To get like a couple centimeters taller.
Yeah.
That's a whole. You'll see that. That's a whole nother joint, yo. But yeah. So,
damn,
Piccolo.
Vegeta, I thought you was a real G, bro.
hey man, he just want to be a little bit taller, yo. You know, he got a little.
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I
That's
was
crazy,
a ball.
yo.
So Piccolo, as he fighting, he transforms. He gets much bigger, and he does that not to necessarily. He's not going to necessarily be stronger, but he wants to kind of match the mass so he can hold him off. And this is how we get to Gohan. He wants to hold him off so Gohan could put the final touch on killing Cell Max.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, it's number 2. He sacrificed himself kind of like Vegeta to get a good blast on Cell Max. He passes. Well, you know, anybody who's seen it. This is deep. We told you it's a spoiler joint. But essentially, Piccolo uses his new form to hold off Cell as much as possible.
Yeah.
And he's getting beat up badly, man. Getting beat up really badly, but he's putting in the work to stop him. At least hold him off so Gohan can get just enough to get the win. But what happens, and this is how Gohan gets to his, which was hard, gets to his newest form, is because it looks like Piccolo is dead at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And he just turns up. Like what Pan was getting, like she was getting a little roughed up, he goes berserk. Because Piccolo, you know, Piccolo essentially like raised him for the most part. And Gohan just goes berserk with the form.
He just wanted to train.
He just wanted to train and eat, yo. So, and that's how we get there. And what does he use? What is it? He uses the last move with the flare. Not the flare. What's the joint that Piccolo uses a lot? See, we kind of lose.
Oh,
the beam.
the beam. Yeah. I can't remember the name of the damn beam.
But what's hard
Y'all
is
supposed to know. Y'all
so he
like
uses the
beam.
beam. Like we just did a pod. We
Yeah.
doing another. We giving the
Double
people
pod.
a
Something
double
beam.
pod. But everybody get it. All the
you know
people,
what we talking
you know,
about, nigga. Yeah.
we get to it, and he uses that. But what's so hard is Piccolo like, yo, how did you even know that joint? You ain't been training. And what does Gohan say? On the low, he was practicing just a little bit, yo, to get to that final move. He uses that. They get Max Cell out of here. Of course, you know, we sneak in how Krillin was able to, you know, help out. Krillin always has had some helpful moves, yo, with his flares and all
That's
that.
why when you see them training, man, when you see them training, once you see them training, it's gonna be fucking dope, yo. Like when you get to the point and it's when they training for the tournament after Goku, dumbass man, Goku a wild nigga, man. He the whole reason this tournament is happening.
Yes,
Really?
And everybody almost gets destroyed because of him.
He was just looking for
Because he just
power.
wanted to fight, yo. He
yo.
just always want to fight. Yo.
You know, Goku's not the smartest dude, not the, you know, and that's why he reaches Ultra Instinct. That Michael find out because Goku just doesn't think sometimes. It's just natural to him. Yeah, I mean,
Ultra Instinct.
You'll see all of that. But that, like I said, that's why it's kind of dope. You know, we have me and Rich that caught up, and then Mike is catching up. So it's good to get another perspective. Yeah, I mean, so Mike, overall, of course, we could talk a little bit more about what did you rate the movie?
Specifically, I came in because y'all know how I am. I have an unbiased opinion on this in general because I'm not that caught up on Dragon Ball, but I liked it overall. I felt like the CGI and the way they tied it into old shit, I felt like that's how they connected guys like me. Like the people that haven't been like vividly or avidly watching the last however many years, you know, it was like, damn, I do remember Dr. Gero. I do remember that. I do remember that. And they did that whole montage in the beginning. And I was like, oh, this is tough. It caught everybody up to speed no matter like kind of where you are in the Dragon Ball world. So I thought it was tough.
And let's, hold my bad. Before you rate, let's make it clear. Mike has seen a good portion of just Dragon Ball Z in general.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z, I've seen all of it.
And he's catching up on Super.
Yeah.
And Mike watches a lot of anime, so it's not like this is complete, like, oh, he's some random like,
nah.
Yeah, you well immersed into the animes and all of this type of stuff. So I just want to make sure clear that up. He's just not caught up on the Super stuff yet.
Yeah. I fuck with it. I give it like a 8 out of 10.
Okay.
8 out of 10.
Okay.
I thought it was really solid all around. I like how they kept like the nostalgia and they built like the character relationships. You know, like when Bulma hit Piccolo up on the FaceTime and shit, and like, yo, why you calling me, dog? Like da 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 da. And it was just like funny because it's like I remember this from back then, but y'all remember it from a different time point. So I feel like they did a great job of managing all that. I felt like overall it was really, really, really good. Yeah. 8 out of 10 to me.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah, I'm somewhere. I probably give it a little closer to like 8.5, 8.5. I was damn near leaning towards 9. I enjoyed the shit out this movie because the animations totally. It was different than I thought it was going to be. I was very nervous seeing those previews from what they were showing. I was like, yo, I just don't know how I feel about this shit. Also, the character change, the transformations. You get 2 different transformations. Plus, you get a character you haven't seen in a little while. So, I enjoyed, like you said, the beginning, giving you at least some kind of background on what has been happening to lead to this point, which is fucking cool because you don't just get Jiro's grandson just randomly and shit like that. Right. You get an explanation why he's doing what he's doing. Also, even the new androids. I like them niggas. Yeah, they were cool.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to one.
Rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace to one, man.
Yo.
Oh, was that 2?
I think it was 2. I think it was
either
2.
one or 2.
Because Blue was 2, right?
I think it was 1 that died.
You got a 50-50 shot. I think it was 1 that died.
I think it was
Catch
1
the movie, yo.
I think it was 1 that died.
Yeah, let us know. Matter of fact, let us know in them comments.
Down and then, like,
get them damn comments up, man.
Here, and then he tried to go stop it, and then he got.
It was kind of sad, yo.
Yeah.
It was, like we talked. Catch the other.
What the?
Catch episode 225 that'll come out a couple days before this because we kind of talk about the 6th man.
Yeah.
And he lost his brother. It was kind of like that, yo.
Yeah, his older bro.
It was kind of like that. So these episodes tie in a little bit when it comes to that.
Because it was the cocky ass one that was that stayed alive, right?
Was it?
I think it was the cocky ass one that beat up Piccolo.
See, that's why I might have to catch it.
No,
I gotta watch
it.
It
was
again.
number 1 and the blue one was number 2 because he had like the 2.
Yeah, and then 2.
I thought the blue one died.
I think 1 died.
I swear it was 1.
I think 1 died.
Damn, I'm
gonna catch it again.
I'm gonna have to watch it again.
I'm gonna catch it again.
I told you I'm gonna have to watch it again because I forgot stuff already. Niggas' names and shit. I don't know.
We fresh. It's not even 24 hours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we was sipping a little. I got a little saucy in there, man.
We had a good time.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm in line with because I don't want to jump too hard because I gave like Broly like a 9.5. I really love that movie.
I'm up there
Super
with that
Broly,
one too.
of course, because they got the other ones. But I give it off of first watch about an 8.5.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. I don't want to go too crazy, but I definitely know I liked it a lot. The backstory, watching Pan, kind of her progression they're introducing into her flying at the end.
Letting us know.
I like the crime boss aspect. They had a slower entry point into it.
Yeah.
It was they try to introduce a little more interesting dialogue. Of course, it's never going to be like a Oscar-winning performances, but like they tried to like put a little bit of backstory with some deeper stuff into it. They like when he clapped him with the regular guy, I was like, oh snap!
Yeah,
so it was a little more grown and stuff like that in a lot of aspects.
Like 3 times, too.
Nah, it might have been like 5 or 6 times.
Clink,
yo.
clink, 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 clink. I was like,
reloaded on that boy. God damn.
We got to see, of course, 2 new forms. Those are always hard, and sometimes we like some of them, sometimes we don't like some of them.
Yeah.
But the 2 ones I personally liked. Gohan really getting it because we all know Gohan when he turned up, he really like the best. Yo.
Yeah, he is cold, man.
He really is the coldest, and that's why they kind of try to suppress him over the years because if you make him, really go crazy, then ain't nobody that's gonna really be able to stop anything. Yeah, so they gotta. It's like One Punch Man when it's just like, all right, come on, yo, like. Yeah. But that was definitely
new season of that's coming out too. I mean, that's totally left field. But One Punch Man is my shit. You watch that?
I haven't seen it.
You gotta watch that.
Is it dubbed on Netflix or Hulu?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I'll tap in.
I'll ask one last thing because we did the ratings, but just off top, what would y'all say y'all favorite moment is? I'll start with Rich because.
Oh, it definitely when the arms went up. You get to see Piccolo change. Once my arms went up, you see him physically change into his new form. That was probably my favorite scene.
Also, when Piccolo, my bad. When Piccolo was extending the arms when he was really large, I didn't even speak on that. And he was holding him to really maximize the time they could hold him off. That was hard, yo. That was
Piccolo
crazy hard.
Was definitely the scene for me. Yeah.
Mike?
Krills getting busy. When he hit him, he hit what's his name, the Supercell whatever with the Destructo dish, and then he did Solar Flare joint to like kind of blind him. I was like, he's assist man right now.
Man.
Tim Hardaway
strategy. He recognized the strategy immediately. He was like, oh shit, we in strategy mode. Let's get it in.
Finessing. Jason Williams point guard shit. You feel me? Like I like that.
People forget, man. Krills was training with Goku, man.
Yeah.
He was always a
sleep on my
I just
guy
liked
though,
him,
man.
yo. I
He
always
wasn't.
liked the
He could never be
constructiveness.
that powerful because he's not a fucking Saiyan. But he trained with that nigga.
He be doing it, yo. He just put the work in.
Yeah.
Yo, I gotta respect him, yo. Because when you watch Super, like when you get to the Tournament of Power, you're gonna be like, yo, he really, yeah.
He must
And I'm
be
happy
using
he
that
didn't
for
die.
hymns because he got
Yeah.
hair and shit now. I don't
Yeah.
know
What was
how
your
the fuck
favorite
he did
scene?
that.
You know what? I'm gonna go a little off, right?
Testosterone
So like
booster.
when Krillin transformed, I was like, yo, because me and Rich both was like pumped. We was because we're generally happy for him, and that's up there. But I'm gonna go a little off, and I really liked it. We can't figure out who was it, 1 or 2, whichever one of it was, when he basically sacrificed himself and charged up. And really helped put in another strategy with them to help them. And the one that survived, you could tell he's going to be a part of helping them out.
Yeah. New android part of the team.
Yeah. I just thought that scene was so dope, yo. Of course, it was like a kind of a ripoff of when Vegeta, sacrificed himself during the original Cell saga. But it was just hard because it was showing, and I think that's why it was the original joint, the first joint that was fighting Piccolo. But I could be wrong because it felt like he went full circle trying to stop them and then ultimately sacrifices himself. I feel like that's the way they would do the movie, so that's why I feel like it was the same character. But anyway, whatever. But I just thought it was hard. I thought the visuals of it was hard. The visuals of the fight scene, period, was hard. But like that was really, really dope to me. And we didn't touch on it too much. But Vegeta and Goku wasn't there because they couldn't get contacted. It was good to keep them kind of away to awaken Gohan.
Yeah.
To get him up, because if they brought him in, Gohan couldn't reach his potential.
Yeah, Goku
once
and them wiping them
again. Yeah,
niggas
so
out
they were over there training and fighting the entire time this was happening. And just make sure you stay for the end if you don't know, because there's a closed scene, and it's basically Vegeta and Goku finishing their training session, and Vegeta, big spoiler, finally gets the best of Goku. Finally, and they're exhausted when it happens. Man. He gets it in the funniest way.
It's so funny.
And I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was
kind of cool.
Everybody
in there was happy for Vegeta.
Yeah.
Yo. He got a little
start clapping and shit.
Yeah,
it was like finally clapping when they said
Vegeta back in the day.
My boy finally did it.
And salute the Barris because he's always mean until he's eating, but he found him a little young Teneroni in there that he kind of liked, yo.
Yo, yeah.
Barris got an eye on his shorty, yo.
He's
so
pressed.
Yeah, so catch that joke when y'all catch it, man.
Yes, sir.
Adios.